Hey Pam,
Hey, Tamara.
I'm so excited to see you on a Tuesday night as the sun is going down behind my head and I find you in your basement.
Ooh,
It's
yes,
been a
my
long
base.
day at work for you. So
Yes, and
you, so you, Pam, are our 2022 moderator, and you're doing this as a full-time Lowe's Hardware employee. How's that going for you?
it's going as about as well as you can expect. It's a challenge, um, but I knew that when I said yes, and so I hope that I'm serving um, our community well. You know what? I'm getting more support than you were making me stop and think about it because it has seemed seamless and people are picking up things that, Sarah and Liam helped do the congregational meeting. You've been a blessing with some of the technology, making sure invites are going out. Jenny Nellis has been super supportive. Allison Jennings, organizational skills and what she does. And then Sharon Jensen had already been a moderator. So they all kind of know what we're dealing with and know what's going on. And it's a group effort. So.
And you mentioned Sarah and Liam just 2 days ago, 3 days ago, we did a congregational retreat, which was a little bit of a replay of the council retreat that was in January. What excited you about Saturday's retreat? Because you came into that retreat a little tired and overwhelmed, and you ended up being the last person to leave.
Yeah, so I came there at the beginning because I am the moderator, and I felt like that I was obligated to be there. I was very tired, and my bandwidth was very, very small. But my intent was to just say hello to everybody, make sure everything gets organized, and to go home. But as I got into the space and started talking to everybody, and the conversation started, and then I started the first of the meeting, sitting in and just hearing everybody become community, and just it just kind of energized me to be around everyone and just to see what was going to happen and see what kind of conversations were going to come out of it. Because I know what a great retreat we had as a council doing this event, learning a little bit about myself and learning a lot about our council team. And so it did not feel like it lasted. I mean, was it 4 hours, 3 hours? It just didn't feel that way because it was so organic and so easy to walk through. Mary McKinney also gave some of her time and her expertise too, so it added a little extra piece that we didn't have during the retreat. So it re-energized me and evened me out a little bit, and it was good to be there.
So where are we at with wearing masks as a high country UCC community?
So, I was on the openness task force along with Sharon Jensen and Curly, and then so we've worn masks from the beginning. We've socially distanced. We didn't have in-person service for a very long time, and we've opened that back up. And then we did revisit it when Watauga County or Boone said, "Hey, you don't have to wear a mask anymore." And so what I thought was going to be a very short conversation in council at the very end of our council ended up being a great example of targeted conversation for a relational covenant. And so we landed as we're going to stay. We've never required anybody to wear masks. I think that you put a video out at the very beginning just saying, hey, we're going to have outside service and just a mention of masks. We've never required masks. I think our community are very respectful of each other, and we're going to let everybody make the decision to wear mask or not wear mask, but we've never required it. So we're not going to change anything. I think the community may think we required it, but we haven't. So
we've made them available. A majority of us, if not all of us, are wearing masks. And now with this new B something variant coming out, that the top 4 things again, number 4 is wearing a mask. Number 1 is being vaccinated. and you may want the 4th booster or not, but we're promoting vaccinations, we're promoting getting boosted. We are wearing a mask because what we know is we don't know if we have it, if we don't have it. And that's, for us, what I understand is the most respectful thing that we're doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, our community is always led that from where I stand. I mean, we even wore masks outside, right? When we met outside. So I think we all know that's the respect for each other, for ourselves and each other. And I don't know that that's not going to change. So we have talked about it, and
is this Saturday. There is a work day, and I think there's about 20 people signed up. And I know our focus is going to be on the indoors, I think, but if it's good weather, we might be doing some outdoor work as well. Sarah Hogan is in charge of that. I'm sure you've gotten emails regarding that. Sarah Hogan has also just sent out an email regarding lawn mowing for the summer, because that will begin before we know it, probably in May. And that is always an amazing way to serve our community, is to keep our lawn mowed. This Sunday, in another venue, right after worship, you have the opportunity for a free bowl of amazing chili. There's going to be a 45-minute presentation, I believe, in the form of Jeopardy, of a fun game. And it's going to be called Osteoporosis Isn't Humorous. Humerus is your bone right here, humerus. And App State students, from graduate students in the nutrition department and recreation department, not Recon Parks, recreation department. They're putting together a fun opportunity to have a free meal and to learn about how nutrition really is a huge piece of our holistic understanding of our own worthiness and sacredness and belovedness. And it does matter what we eat as we age. 2 more pieces that I want to make sure that we hear is we are really working right now at getting greeters and fellowship folks as we attempt to re-engage ourselves around that piece after worship to help us reconnect with one another. And so if you would be willing to be a greeter and or to provide fellowship, please let us know that. And last but not least, I have been totally horrible. I am confessing to you, my people, and with my moderator sitting right here with me, I did not say thank you, actually, more than once. And I just get busy. And I want you to know that there's amazingly deep gratitude for you in this community, for a Christmas bonus that I actually never said thank you for. And I apologize for that. And number 2 is I'm attempting to live into that relational covenant. And number 6 is I will ask for help when needed. And my rhododendron literally popped out of the soil with a huge amount of snow on it. And when all that snow left and I came back, it is laying on the ground. And Kath and Craig and Jenny and Terry showed up. And I thought we were just going to stand it back up. But my wise people said, nope, we got to cut it off and then stand it back up. And so my rhododendron has a new lease on life. And I am talking to Rhoda every day and saying, please, please, hopefully you reroot yourself. And so when community happens, when the work that Pam was talking about happens, our roots grow deeper, just like this rhododendron. And so I want to encourage you that you're asking for what you need. That you're reaching out and you're engaging in this community, because if you're not, you're missing something, because we have an amazing group here. Our worship has been rich, and the energy and the sustaining love that is happening, it has just been emboldening to my faith. And I want to say thank you for your continued part of when you engage in our community. So there's 18 of us there on Saturday, and I believe, as I've heard from you and others, that our hope is to do a couple of more of those, maybe in another, probably a couple of months, as Sarah and Liam and Mary are willing to lead us in that for some consistency. What would be a hope as we do continue to step into this relational covenant and really do the intrapersonal work as well as the interpersonal work. What do you see as some hopes or some possible outcomes if more of us engage that?
Sure. So before we get to more of us engaging, my hope is that more people will engage into it, and we have another retreat and we have a good turnout. I think a lot of people say it's not my thing, or they don't really understand what it is. So I urged in this last one that everyone go out and just tell their experience that they had during the retreat and share with them what their view was, because there's some, personality test, the Enneagram, which some people don't really understand or don't want to take those tests or understand. It may not be their thing, but there's other things in there that Liam gives us some parts work, which is a little bit. So you're either it's gonna resonate one way or the other. I think with folks, you're either going to resonate with the Enneagram or the parts, or you may see some value in both of those, learning about yourself. So my hope is that people will explore, the people that have gone to it, say, hey, how was that retreat? What was it all about? Or the folks that went are saying, hey, I want to tell you about this retreat and really what it's about and what we did. And what we experienced was community and having conversations. So that's part of my hope. But my extended hope is that we live into this covenant, and that we have retreats that folks come to and learn a little bit more about it and how we live into it and how we utilize it. But my hope is that we can sit down and have targeted conversations that we know that as a community we may need to have. Some things that bubble up that not everybody's 100% aligned on, and we have conversations about those, and using our covenant to learn more about each other, respect each other's viewpoints, and then all of us maybe come to a much more consistent view of things. We're all going to be different. We're all going to see things differently, but I hope that we do it a little bit more targeted in some of those conversations.
Why would we want to have a targeted conversation? That just begins to make butterflies happen in my stomach.
Yeah, I know it does. It does mine too. Well, some of those conversations can be very healing. And there's growth in healing. Not only individually healing, but as a community healing. Some of the things, especially the last 2 years, we've all had things that we probably need to heal from.
And so what I hear you talking about is just really sharing our hearts with one another. And when we can, it's a piece of vulnerability. And the more that we can do that, from me and my perspective, specifically with my pastor hat on, but just with my human Tamara hat on, is it builds those relationships deeper. It's scary, and yet when we go there is healing, and there's this deepening of interrelationships. And I don't know about you, but I've missed those in our isolation of the last few years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that we have the pieces, the relational covenant piece that really can help us sit and have some tough conversations with each other and share our hearts. And I'm not the most vulnerable person. I'll be the first to say that I've been here, I guess I've been in the community for almost 3 years, and I'm much more vulnerable than I was when I first came here. But okay, you enjoy your evening.